All right. So welcome once again. Welcome everybody. Um, we have people connecting from multiple countries. Welcome, and we are working so hard. Welcome, Ashanafi. Good to see you. I hope your project is going on well, Ashanafi. Sometime now I've not heard about your progress. So how is your progress going on, Ashanafi? Let me hear something. And Prosper, I hope you've made a lot of progress. So we'll be checking your work. We'll be checking to see what you are doing. All right. So please stay focused, work hard, and let's achieve great results. So for the homepage, I think we are done completely. Yesterday, we were able to finish everything regarding the homepage. The About Us page, we worked on it. So we talked about the top banner here that you need to place here, and then how to structure the page. So this particular page, you can just edit it. Yes, you can edit it. And if you don't like the style, you can change the style. Okay, so today what we'll do is to create a brand new page from scratch to know how to create a page, to know how to create a page from scratch. So with that, you understand that everything you see can be edited. Everything you see is an element that can be um, added or removed. Okay, so I believe you can all hear me. Am I audible? Am I audible? Ashinafi, I've not heard from you. I don't know if I'm audible. Okay, all right, all right. So, okay, all right, okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so today we want to continue working on this. And the first thing we are going to do, the very first thing we'll be doing, let me get my sheet. All right. So the very first thing we are going to be doing is to look at the additional pages. Yesterday we saw About Us and we saw the FAQ and we created that. So you can refer to the video to find out how we created it. So the theme comes with several elements from the Tattoo elements that you can select. So this is an effect, one element you can select. It gives you like a question and the answer. So this is great to use for FAQ. So you have question and answers, and this is wonderful. Yeah, so be creative in creating questions that customers may want to find out. So just think of questions that they can come up with. Once you explain your business to ChatGPT, you can ask for potential questions and the right answers. You place them here to create this particular page. All right, so let me take us through what we'll be doing today. And this will be our final day of customization. This will be our final day of customization. And so we will start by looking at additional pages. So we'll look at additional pages in terms of, first of all, we'll look at the services, and then we'll customize, let's say, the corporate websites. We'll do a very simple customization on the corporate website page. Then we will we'll work on page duplication to duplicate existing pages that you like the layout and you want to duplicate. We'll work on page duplication. And then after we duplicate pages, we will also create new pages, and we will, let me see our pages, the number of pages they have, and I will talk about one particular ones. So when we go to pages, we will also look at our privacy policy page. All right. So we'll just add a privacy policy page. Okay. So this is what we will be covering. And by doing that, we would have covered any essential part of this work that you need help with. Also, if there are any important things that you need clarity on, you can ask questions and we can um, look at those areas. Okay. And my wish is that every important thing you need now, um, you'll be there so that if in case you need any assistance on any particular thing, you will know exactly um, what you need now. Yes. So sometimes if you are not at the same level, you may not have certain questions, but if you are there, you will know exactly what you are lacking. All right, so let's me quickly do this and then we will get into the details. So I'm going to share my slide for just a few seconds, then we'll start the editing. So let me just load my slider. All right, class. So welcome to another wonderful session and welcome to day 18 of our webmaster class. We are nearing the end of our project. We will have our lesson today to conclude this particular project, and we'll spend just a little time talking about e-commerce and how e-commerce works, payment system works, shipping works, and then we will wrap up the webmaster class. So far, we have learned almost everything we need, and we should have the skills it takes to put up websites. So any other detail you need, the videos covers everything. And so let's make sure we go through the videos to cover everything we need to cover. And we need to understand that creating websites, beautiful websites with powerful features have never been easier in all of history than it is today. Today, you can create amazing websites and you can build websites from scratch. You can write code to build websites or use technologies like what we are learning in this particular course. And you have to understand that before you can have an amazing website, you need to plan your website, plan the website on paper, plan the goals of the website, plan the purpose of the website, the features of the website. You can add a sketch to display all the important visual elements on the website, determine where each element should go, and structure the website in a wonderful layout, and plan your content and everything on paper. Then you choose a technology. Choose a technology to work on your project. You can write your code from scratch using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can also work with React for modern features. You can also work with Angular as well. And for the backend, you need to work with PHP or Python, or you can use Node.js for your backend. We need to understand that almost every website, apart from static websites written in HTML that has content within the code that doesn't work with databases. But apart from that, almost every website and application works with a database. And so we will need to have understanding working with databases. And in this particular course, we have been exploring databases at certain levels. In our specializations, we are going to delve deeper and explore more about databases. All right, so we will connect MySQL database to our websites. And if you are working with NoSQL database systems, you can use MongoDB for your database. If you want all the coding done for you, you can use CMS. CMS is powerful. We have WordPress, we have Drupal, we have Joomla. After WordPress, you can get experience in Joomla and also see how it looks like, how it works. Drupal is also another powerful one you can look at, but the most popular one is WordPress, like we've been talking about. You need to understand that as of 2024, about 43.5% of all websites online are built with WordPress. So WordPress is powerful, WordPress is effective, WordPress has a strong community behind it, a lot of security, modern updates, and a whole lot of features to make WordPress amazing. WordPress has themes that allow you to create wonderful websites and visual presentations for companies, for businesses, for projects, and it is great to work with WordPress. You can make money designing websites. As you have the skills, you can monetize your skills designing websites. Yes, so this can be another work you do on the side, or this can even be a business that you run. But let's think about monetizing our skills. And in doing so, you actually polish your skills. You actually get more experience building websites and understanding the technologies in the field. And it is important to work with the right team. You need to find the right team for your right project and customize a theme. Now we've seen how the backend of the WordPress looks like. As you install more plugins, there may be new features added to the backend. Some of the plugins will take their own menu space and they'll be added to the list of menus on the left side. And as you work with e-commerce and other types of websites, you get extra features within your backend to manage your orders, to manage shipping, to manage payments, and um, a whole lot of features in your website. So the backend usually looks similar, but depending on the plugins you are using, you may have extra features in your backend. And this is very important to have an idea of how the web technology works as a webmaster. So welcome once again to class. My name is Darlington, and we've gone through a wonderful time learning. And where we are now, we are nearing the end of one phase, and we are going to begin another course very soon to end the root phase. So in the root phase, we started with the root phase with Python Intermediate, where we looked at important lessons in Python, and then we moved on to cybersecurity fundamentals with binary, and we learned the foundations of binary with cybersecurity. And then from there, we moved on to the web masterclass, and we also looked at hardware as well. So we've covered some essential things. We have other things to cover, other courses to cover. We are going to look at working with Git and GitHub. It is very important for us to have an idea because on the field, this is what we use. So you need to have an idea. Everyone needs to have an idea of how Git and GitHub works. We need to have basics in databases. We need to have basics in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then we have basics in cloud computing. So these are essential skills that every tech professional should have before you specialize into your main field. So once we get into specialization, we focus on the specific tools you need for that field. But almost every tool you need for your specialization will also require understanding of several other tools. So that is what the root phase is meant to achieve. And we are doing well. We are almost nearing the end of the root phase. So everything we are learning, so long as we are spending time learning them, let us go through them and acquire the skills well. And as we progress, we are going to cover everything and have our skills at a very stronger level and much more mature level. So don't lose anything. Yeah, don't lose anything. You can see how much we have achieved in this short time. Don't lose anything from what we are learning because everything is very valuable and very important. All right. So I want to tell you that it is beautiful and it's a beautiful thing when a career and a passion come together. When a career and a passion come together, there's going to be wonders, there's going to be miracles. Yes. So as you have your career, you need to be passionate about it. You need to love what you do. You need to be passionate about tech. You need to be passionate about learning and be passionate about knowing more. Yes, tech is advancing rapidly and you require a lot of understanding to be able to be ahead, to be able to lead. Yes. So let us continue working hard. Let us continue a wonderful work. I'm going to um, play one short clip and then we'll start our customization for this particular lesson.
Do you remember the long, exhausting process of creating a website? Forget about it. One click. It is everything that you need to start your adventure with Btheme. Discover over 300 pre-built websites. Choose one. Use the Muffin Builder to adjust your work and show your own style. It's easier than you can even imagine. One click, and you can join thousands of happy Btheme users from all around the world. Do you know the meaning of professionalism? Well, we do. Btheme, the new definition of design freedom.
All right, so the new definition of design freedom. Today, let's work on our design to complete this particular phase. All right, so quickly we will go to the pages, and over here we are going to see, once you click on pages, all pages, we are going to see some of the pages they have. We will first of all take a look at how they created their contact page. So this contact page right here, I'm going to right click and open in a new tab, and we are going to see how it looks like. So they have a template for the contact page, and if it is okay for you, you can go ahead and use it. So when I look at the layout for the contact page, I think it is okay. So for every contact page, you can have a heading that gives an idea, a message to your visitors, usually a welcome, and then you write something here to let them know what to do. So with this, just edit what you have here to write something welcoming, asking them to fill the form or contact you using the details here. All right, and then they can just submit and it will come to you through email. And also we have a map here that you can customize to allow your customers know your location and bring more business to you. So for a tech company, it's good to have a map where customers can follow to the office to do business with your company. All right, so that is if you have a location. If you don't have a location, you can remove it for now and later include it. All right, so it is all part of what you can do. Okay, so let's look at how they created this form, and then we look at how to customize the form. So I'm going to edit it with Tattoo. Let me right click here and edit with Tattoo. All right, so that's wonderful. So once we go to edit with Tattoo, we can see this over here. Once you click on this, you can just edit it from here. You can go to text and edit the text in here. And it is very important to ensure that when you're editing the text, you will take note of the HTML element here and you place your text within it, right? So this one too, you click on it and the message they have, you can edit it. So over here, you can just edit the text here. Over here, they have some code here. You can just select this specifically and replace it with your email. So this is very easy to do. The next thing is to work on the form. Now, when it comes to working with forms, most plugins or most themes work with certain plugins. All right. So this particular theme, they are working with a plugin called WP Forms. WP Forms. So this WP Forms, it is a plugin that allows you to create a form and embed it. So just as we were able to embed videos, we're able to embed different things. You can also create a form and embed the form right here. So if you go back to the backend, you can see WP Forms over here. There are some plugins, the moment you install them, they join the menus you have over here. So this WP Forms is one of them. Once you come here, you can see all forms and you can create a form. And any form you create, you can easily embed into your website. So over here, you can see that they have two forms here. They have two forms here. We have this first form, which says request a code. And then we have this other form, which says cleaning contact form. So these are the two forms they have. And over here, this part here is called a short code. And this short code is like the code you use to embed the form. Okay. So if you want to embed this form anywhere, you can copy the code. So this particular form they created, this is a short code. Once you paste this code somewhere, it should generate that form over there. That is what it means. All right. So there are two forms here. This particular one, they call it cleaning contact form. You can duplicate it like this. And once you duplicate it, you can go ahead and you can rename it. So you can see the new one here. So we can rename it. So let's go to edit. And once we edit, we can click here and give it a new name. So over here, you can just give this a name like ETA or whatever your company name is. So this is Eagle Tech Africa. You can put it here and then you can remove this ID. Just give it any name you want. It's as simple as that. Give it any name you want. And this is a submit button. If you want to change the submit button's text, you can change here. And let me see what they have under advanced. All right, so advanced is requesting for CSS and other things. You don't need that, so just ignore that. And you can save this over here. All right. So once this is saved, you can check the other links here. So I see spam protection and security. And let me see what this is about. It says that protection behind the scenes spam filtering that's invisible to your visitors. Okay, so you can enable anti-spam honeypot to prevent spamming. And minimum time to submit, this is 2 seconds. And why do they have minimum time to submit? Who can give us any idea of what that means? Why should they have minimum time to submit? Who has any idea about it? Just tell me what you think. Why are they giving us minimum time to submit? What do you think is a reason? And I know why I'm asking. So what do you think is the reason why they are telling you minimum time to submit and they have 2 seconds? Yes, so anybody? Yes, so just put something in the chat. Let me know what you think. Why we have minimum time. Whatever comes to mind, I want to know. Okay. All right. So someone says for security purpose. What kind of security purpose? Now, if you build a website, you can create a form, okay, to prevent intruders or hackers from performing multiple entries within a short time, okay? So that's a great idea. So in terms of security, this happens a lot. Now, most of the time when we build websites, we write the script to submit emails, okay? So anytime you create a form, you have to write a code behind it so that if anybody fills a form, it goes to your email. This morning, someone was asking, so when they fill the form, should it go to a database or it should go to an email? Now, the form, when it is a contact form, it's supposed to go to an email. And if it is an application form or a registration form, or any form to collect data, it should go to a database. So whenever you create a form, you need to know how to process it and know how to submit it to either an email or a database, all right? And most of the time, once you create the form, there are certain bots that can fill forms automatically. So in cybersecurity, um, there have cyber attackers have certain bots and crawlers that can fill forms automatically. So it happens a lot. So if you have a website and you don't put any restriction on your forms, in your email, you can get about 1,000 entries, I mean, 1,000 um, forms, I mean, emails a day from your forms. And so this is the reason why sometimes we use captcha codes. And so with a captcha code, we allow them to input certain numbers just for us to know that it is not a bot, but it's a human. So with those particular captcha codes, it will prevent the bot from filling it. Today, there are several creative ways of preventing that without creating a captcha code. And this particular website, this is one of the features they are allowing us to apply. So enable minimum time to submit. This here, let me see, set a minimum amount of time a user must spend on a form before submitting. All right, so it is all part of security so that a bot cannot just submit the form anyhow. So you can set the number of time that they have to stay on the form before they submit. So whatever is ideal, you set it here, and it's all part of security. So this section is about spam protection and security. All right. Now, let me save that. Over here, we have themes, and here we can skip it. The notification area is the main important area I'm interested in. Now, this particular plugin allows you to input allows you to input the email address you want to use to receive the form. So once somebody fills your form, which email address should receive it? Over here, you can go ahead and type it here. If you don't type it here, the code you see here will retrieve the admin email of your WordPress. So your WordPress, when you were setting it up, you inputted some admin email. It can fetch that, or you can just input a correct email address. Most of the time we use info. So info at your company name here, like this. Then the subject, what subject should the form use when it is submitting to the email? So I will just say new website contact form entry. This is okay because I need to know that it's coming from the website and not an email from someone. So when an email comes to your inbox, if I see new website contact form entry, I know that somebody filled the form. Now, what the person filled are the fields that are on the form when they are on the website. So once that comes to you, you will get a message that the person is trying to communicate. Yes, but this helps you to identify where the mail is coming from. So you can type anything here that should alert you. Then here you can put your company name here so that the server will add it as part of the headers to send the mail. So you can type the name of the company here, and then you can type your email here again. So, all right. So these are the details you need to put in here, and the rest are okay. You can just save this and you are done with the configuration. So when it comes to the email, this is one of the most important parts. So you need to provide these details well so that you can receive the email. Most of the time, when the website is local, the mail sending will not work. But once you host it or you put it online, you will see that it works. Lastly, we'll go to confirmation, and over here, we get to customize a message that will display to the visitor once they fill your contact form. So thank you for contacting us. We will be in touch with you shortly. Let me just change it so that we are sure it is working. So thank you for contacting Eagle Tech Africa. We will be in touch with you shortly. Just type whatever is nice. All right, so you can save this and use this. This is one of the ways you can um, give them a notification or success message after submitting. Apart from this, if you don't want to use this method, what you can do is to choose a confirmation type. You can show a page. So you can design a page under pages and you can load that page here. So after they fill the form, that page will be displayed to them. This is one of them. Apart from that, you can also give a specific URL that they should be redirected to after they fill the form. But this is the best option to just give them a simple message. All right, so that is it. So once we save this, we know that we have a new form that we just created and we have customized. So when we come to Tattoo here, when we click on this form, we need to come here and we need to choose the form we just created. So the form we created is not showing here because we just created it. So we need to reload this. And once we reload it, we should be able to find it. And Tattoo is in a way that once you reload something, you have to go and reopen it. So we need to go through and edit with Tattoo again before we can see it. All right. So once we click on this, we will see the forms here and we can choose what we created. So this is a form we created All right, we didn't talk about the fields, the form fields. So let's see how we can customize the form fields as well. So under WP Forms, the fields are here. You can see right here, fields. Once you click on the form fields, you have access to the form fields here. So this particular form is asking for name, email, subject, message. So these are standard fields you can use. If you want a drop down, you can include. If you want a single line text paragraph, you can include. Even a captcha, you see, you can include a captcha. Let's include a captcha and see. So let's please, what did you say? Please complete the setup. Okay. All right. So when it comes to captcha, they want you to do some settings. So let me just click on it and let's see how it looks like. So they want us to use one captcha. Let me see reCAPTCHA. reCAPTCHA is a free anti-spam service from Google, which helps you protect your website from spam and abuse while letting real people pass through with ease. Okay, so we need to provide a site key and all that. I don't have time for that. All right, so I don't have time to go and generate that, but you can generate this and use it. Let me see which one is simple that we can use. So all of them are requesting for site keys. So I'm not going to use this. All right, so let me just close it. And we can just choose anything, anything like a single field. So let's bring this field here. After email, let's say we want something else, like we want the address or phone number. And if you want it to be a required field, you state it over here as a required field. So this is where you manage your fields. Now, this particular one, it has a length. So the length of the field, let me go to advanced. And over here, I'm seeing medium, large. Let me choose large. And you can see that it affects the length of the field. And there are other features here. Some of them are pro. The pro means that you can't use it until you upgrade the WP forms. But everything here is fine. So let us save it. Let us save it. Sorry, let me click here, embed, and see what is there. Okay. Select existing page. All right. So we already have it somewhere. Okay. And you can see that you can also use your embed code. So you can also embed your form manually or use a shortcode. So the shortcode is what we talked about. All right. So let me go back to the contact form with Tachu and load the new form we created. So we have it here. Let's see if we can pull it. So the phone number just appeared. So let me save. And once you do this, you have saved it on the contact page. So on our contact page, you can see that the changes you made is appearing here. If you fill this form, ask you to provide your details. Over here, it wants a valid email. So let's give a valid email format and let's submit. So once you submit, you'll see that the message you entered is showing right here. Thank you for contacting us. We will get in touch shortly. So you can customize everything. So over here, customize this title, put an important message here. You can get ideas from other websites. You can let ChatGPT help you. The message should encourage them to fill the form or contact us with the details they have over here. If they don't want to fill and they want to mail us, of course, they have our email address here, and then they can also find it here as well. So just use something creative, and that is it. So next, let's look at this particular map here. And the map here, first of all, it is going to request your permission to show maps on your site. That is how the theme was designed. And they use Google Map through their own plugin, but I'm seeing some, yeah, it says that for development purposes only. And let's look at it in our contact page. Where is it? Okay, so here. So over here, that is it over here. It says that this page can't load Google Maps correctly. Do you own this website? Okay, so what are they talking about? All right. So they are having certain, I'm seeing that there are certain restrictions regarding the map, saying that it can't load correctly. I'm yet to discover exactly why their maps are not loading. But what we can do is to, let's delete this section and let's create it again. And over here, once you create a section, you have to choose the layout. So we want a blank section like this. Okay, so we have that here. It's already blank. Then we click inside this column. And over here, these are the elements they use, or what they call modules. So this particular one they were using, they call it Google Map. So Google Maps, once you select it, it appears here. But it is also going to give you the same issue. So I decided not to use theirs, but I can still have my map there, not to use their plugin. So I'm gonna delete this. And when I click here, instead of selecting Google Maps over here, I can just come here and say that I want to enter code. So once I say I want to enter code, they'll give me a box to type in code. And this is where I can put in that code. And we all know that Google Map is easy to embed. So you can go to Google, just type maps.google.com, then locate your business by typing your business name, whatever it is. Let's say there's a place called Afrikiko in Accra. So it will load that place for you. Where is it? Okay, so Afrikiko is right here. So we assume this is your business name. So over here, you can right click and you can see the coordinates here, or you can see share this location. All right. So once you find your business name, you can just right click on it. And if your business name is not yet on the map, you can add it. If it's still not yet, you can still find the location and right click and copy the location details. However, it will be best to have your business name on the map. All right, so over here, this Afrikiko I'm seeing, I can right click on it and select share this location. All right, so once I see share this location, I am going to look at these two. Now, the first one here is giving me the coordinates, the latitude first. And what is this one called? Who knows what this is called? If this is latitude, what is this one called? Let me see if you still remember your geography from high school. Okay, so Ato says that is called longitude. All right, so the plugin we were using before was asking for latitude and longitude. Once you provide these coordinates, it will find it. So with latitude and longitude, we will definitely find you anywhere in the world. So these are the coordinates of your exact location. All right. So over here, you can provide a link to share the map, or you can embed it. I think I want to embed it. So I want the embed code. So this embed code looks just like what we saw when we were embedding YouTube videos. It's an iframe. It's an HTML element called iframe with a source, and we have all of these here. So over here, I can choose a small version. I can choose medium. I can choose large, or I can choose a custom version where I state the size. I think I want this to be custom because I want it to fill the entire width of the website. So here, I'm actually going to be creative to put 100% over here, because 100% here, okay, it's not responding. Let's forget about it. We will still do it. Let's click on medium, and we will copy the HTML from here, and let's bring it here and paste it here. So clear every code here and paste. So once you paste, you see that the map will show here. When I save this and I reload on the website, you will see that when I reload my website, you are going to see that it is showing here, but it's showing in a size that is not okay for me. So I will go back there and work on the code. So I'll look into the code. So this is why if you have knowledge in HTML, later you can use it to solve a lot of problems. So over here, instead of the width being 600, I'm going to edit the width and say 100%. In that case, it will fill the entire width. And I can know the width I want, but it will be wrong for me to input a specific width, because if I say, let's say 1200 pixels and it looks okay on my screen, sometimes when you are creating an application, you need to think about different devices that will load your application. If I say 1200 and it takes that, this is raw HTML and it will give you a fixed weight if you instruct it to give you a fixed weight. With that fixed weight on a mobile, it will still give you that fixed weight and it is going to distort on the phone. So when I say 100%, 100% means fill the available space. So on mobile, it will still fill the available space 100%. And over here, it is working here in this space here because that is the confinement that row provided. I can still see what I can do here. Let me go to advanced, and I can control the margins and all that. So let me see. Let me see what we can do here. So under advanced, we can see it has padding for top and bottom, no problem. I don't have an issue with that. For the left and right, margin is 0. Okay. So you can just leave it like this. It's still visible and okay. I wanted to see how we can manipulate it for it to touch the walls, but we can leave it that way. For now, it doesn't spoil anything. Or you can just see if you can create your row without restricting your columns like this. Yes, so it doesn't matter. Let's just move on. You can just spend time. For example, the left margin. Let me see if I say minus 20 pixels. You see that it's working? Minus 30 pixels. See that it's working? But then it's not necessary for me to worry myself doing this because I don't want it distorted on any other device. So let me just forget it. It's not necessary. It's it's just because of the row here. So definitely there's a place to edit it if you want, or you can use this. So, or I can create a new row and ensure that it doesn't create these borders. But this is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong at all. All right. So with this, you can see that the business name is showing right here, and your customers can see where you are and follow through. All right. So we have seen the contact page, how it works, how to customize it. All these ones here, you can easily customize them by just clicking and typing. So I'm not going to spend any time whatsoever on this. You can change everything here. We've done all of this already. That is why I'm moving fast. All right. So the only thing I will do now is to copy the URL here, then go back to my pages, appearance, and menus. And in my menus, anywhere I see contact us, I'm going to paste the URL over here. Anywhere there's contact, I'm going to paste the URL. So anywhere we have contact, I'm going to paste it. So depending on how you designed your main menu and all your menus, anywhere you have a contact, this is where you paste it. Even on your header, you have some contact us here, you can paste it there. But we are still using localhost, remember? So if you want to go to your home page, you can click on this. Later, when this site goes online, we will go back to menus and we'll remove all the local hosts so that everything will work. So now you can see that contact is connected, it's working over here. When I click, it's connected, it's working fine. All right, so we are done with the contact page. Is there any question regarding anything we did over here? Any question? Any question at all? So this 90 pixels padding, I think is too much. I think it is too much. It's creating too much space. So once I select this section, let me go to advanced. I can see here the top padding 90 pixels. It is too much. So I'm going to just make it like 10 or 0. Let's see 10. And okay. Okay, because I'm comparing the space here to the space here, and they should be kind of uniform. So that is it. All right. So we are done completely with contact form. The next thing we will do is to check on the services. The next thing is to work on the services. So let's go back to pages, appearance, pages. And over here, we can see that we have a page for services. We want to see how it looks. So we will right click on the view and open it in a new tab just to see how it looks like. So this is their general services page, and this is the design for it. I don't think it's bad. It's wonderful. It's okay. The only thing is that since this is general services, this business, we don't offer specific prices for general services. So you can either remove this or place a request for quote form here so that they can request for a quote. Yes. Or, yeah, who is Tony Stark? All right. So I like how their services pages, you can remove this section if you want, or just put something there because it won't be nice to have this end in it. So we can put something here, maybe request a quote here. so that they can choose a particular form. And you can design any form you want and input it here. Just bring the shortcode here and it will work, all right? It will work. All right. Okay. So over here, you can replicate these to indicate your major services that you want to provide more information on. So this is your main services page, and it is a page that you should have, and it has to be somewhere. And on your website, there may be a link somewhere to services. So you have this page down. Apart from that, you can have specific pages for specific services. So let's say under web solutions, we have web design and corporate website. This corporate website here is a specific service. You can have content for it. You can have content for your e-commerce website, content for your blogs or news website, because their pricing models are different. The way to charge for e-commerce is different. The way to charge for blogs is different. The way to charge for corporate websites is different. So you can have this specifically. You can also have this just to have specific information for your client to choose exactly what they want and get specific prices for what they are looking for. If not, you can also ignore all of these specifics and just create a web design page that will provide general information about web design. If you do that, you need to find a way to provide your pricing in a way that will meet the specific need of the client. I like this because this gives you specifics. So if it's a corporate website you are looking for, you can get details on that and specific pricing on corporate websites. So I like the way it is over here. All right. So let's assume we want to work on specific one like this corporate website. In the pages, we can see that we have services. That is what we have seen. And when we look down here, they have pages for their other services. And that's all they provided. Some teams may give you several pages. Some teams may give you just a few. This particular team, they gave us some relevant pages. For the services, these are all the services they have. So that's all they gave. Now, when I go to commercial cleaning and I view how that page is, I can see that it's written here commercial cleaning, and this is how the page looks like. All right, so this is how they created the page. If you like it, you use it. If you don't like it, you will modify it. And we will learn how to create pages from scratch. And so by creating pages from scratch, you understand how you change anything you want to change. Yes, but I think the layout is perfect. Okay, that's what I think. You need to have an image for corporate websites to invite your customers to what this corporate website is about. Give a nice heading about it, have some text about it, have some features, have some images. For these ones, you can remove one and focus on providing the details on one. And then you can also have FAQ for corporate website. I think this layout is perfect. On the right side, they have a form where they can request a quote. You see, so this request a quote here is a form that they can request a quote. And I don't know if this is a form we created that is loaded here. I don't know. Maybe because this phone number, it seems we put it here. All right, so you can choose which form should appear here. So now you know how to create a form and how to select the form. And then over here, the contacts. And if you have a brochure for corporate website, you can have a pitch deck or a brochure for corporate website. This layout, I think, is perfect for your services page. So what we will do is to edit it. So let's go to quick edit and see what I'm going to do. Over here, we are going to change this part to corporate websites. And the slug is very important. That is what creates a URL to that page. But I'm going to remove it, and I'll show you why I am removing it. When I click on update, it's going to update. When I go back, you can see that it has created it for me. So this is how you are supposed to create your slug, but I allowed it to create it for me from the title. So next time when we view that page, you can see this in the URL. And if you want to change the URL, you can change it through the slug. All right, so over here, when I go to view, I can see it here. Now we have corporate websites. And over here, you can see the concept of parent pages and child pages. So this corporate website is a parent, is a child of services. It's a child page of services. Because when you come here, you can see that there is a dash over here, which indicates that it's a child of services. Maybe this doesn't show that it's a child of services, but when you go to quick edit or when you go to edit, you can see that parent is here and you can see the parent. So sometimes you can create a page to be a child of another page, or you can let a page be the parent of another page. The purpose of that is to ensure that the breadcrumbs here are created right. So here, where are we? Sorry. So here you see corporate websites. After corporate website, we see services. So this allows you to use a breadcrumb to navigate the system. All right. So you saw how it worked and it's so wonderful. All right. So now that we've changed the title, the details here, you can go back there and you edit it with Tattoo. Once you go to edit with Tattoo, it is going to load and you can change this image. You can change all of these, all of these. Now, one thing I'll tell you about the text is that this text, there's an element they use for the text. It's called text block. You can see it here. When I come here, this one too is called text block. So these two are the same elements or module they used. The reason why one is appearing like a heading and bold is because of the HTML code here. You can see that this is heading 2, and you know that heading 2 is like this. We have heading 1, heading 2. When you click on this one, it doesn't have anything. They could have given it P for paragraph or nothing here gives it plain text. But it's the same block. You can see text. This one is also text, the same. The only reason why this one is like a heading is because of the code in here. So when you are creating your own pages, you can use this approach to create heading and also to create main text. And after this, we'll create a blank page from scratch and see how the pages are created. So everything here can be edited. This one, the module they use here is called a list. We will create some for you to see. You can just edit it over here. You can delete this entire row if you don't need it. FAQs, I like it. You can leave it here and just customize it. Wonderful. And then this part, just click and edit, click and edit. For the download brochure, you put the URL here, and that's it. If you want to change the text, you change it over here. Everything is okay. For the form, we have learned how to create forms. So you click here, and then you load the form you want to load. So however you want the form to look, you design it, and you can load it anywhere you want. So everything here is understandable. We can save our changes. And then once we save, we can copy the URL and take it to our menus. Take it to our menus under appearance and menus. And we can place it at the right at our corporate website here. What this means is that every service needs its own dedicated page. So once you do that, All your services will have their pages. When I come to web solutions, web design, corporate website, I'm going to see that it has loaded, but I'm not seeing, okay, I'm not seeing, let me go back and see. So we have this showing here and showing here. All right. So, okay. So over here, you can see, okay. I was expecting this web solutions to become selected, but they are selecting this from here since it's a direct sub of this. Yes, so you can also design a page for web design. And let me just play something in the web design and see. I'm just checking. I'm not going to use this URL. I'm just checking if that is what they need to make this selected. Okay. So it is good to, because we have 3 levels of the menus, you can also place a link here, not to take you to corporate website, but to take you to a web design page. So you can create a web design page, you can create corporate website page, create your e-commerce, blogs, and landing pages. So all these are different pages you can create. Yes, it is good for this to be highlighted when they are on a specific page. All right. So that is how we create additional pages. So we have looked at all of this, and I'm going to talk about the page duplication. Then we'll take a short break. After that, we'll learn how to create new pages. Now, when you go to pages over here, and let's say we like the corporate websites page, we like the corporate website page, and we want it to be used for, we want to duplicate it for another service. All right. Now, when you look at the pages they are providing, they are few, but our pages, our services are more. But we don't want to recreate the structure from scratch, the layout from scratch. So we want to duplicate this. Over here, you are supposed to see something like that to enable you to duplicate. If you don't see it, it means you can't do that. So it is not possible at the moment to duplicate. However, you can go to plugins and install a plugin for that. Sometimes you may want to duplicate a post or a page. You can use plugins to do that. So when you go to plugins, you add a new plugin. And to add a new plugin, we can come here and say duplicate page. And a plugin for duplicating page, you can see one of them and you can install the one you like. The one I'm looking for, duplicate page. The one I'm looking for is this one here. This is the one I'm looking for. We can install it. And in WordPress, to use any plugin or theme or add-on, there are 2 steps. You have to install, and after installing, what is the next thing to do before you can use it? Who can tell me the next thing to do before you can use it? You need to install it. After installing, what do you have to do? All right, so you have to activate it. Thank you, Wesley, Prosper, Oluwafemi. You need to activate it. So we need to activate it. If not, if you don't activate it, it's not going to work. So we need to activate it. So once it is activated, we can come back to pages, and you can see that once we see the corporate websites, we can see duplicate this. This is really good. So now once I duplicate it, I can create it. It's here as a draft. Draft means it is not yet published. Let me use quick edit to change this from corporate websites to let's say e-commerce websites. However that page is called, you can put it that here. The parent is services. The status, I don't want it to be draft anymore. I want to publish it. So you can publish under draft, or you can publish under, sorry, you can publish under quick edit, or you can publish under edit. So let me click on update, and the e-commerce website is created. The e-commerce website is created. All right, so this is still a child of services. So once we view this, we can see it over here as e-commerce website. We can edit with Tattoo and fix everything we want over here. And here, okay, the price, you can request a quote. Yeah, so either you request a quote or give specific prices for the specific services, since now you are kind of more specific. All right, so this e-commerce website, you can go ahead and place it here. All right, so we will take a short break. Once we return, we will create a page from scratch so that we see how to create a page that doesn't exist, because you may need several pages that are not currently in the pages section. Because once you come to pages, you are going to see pages here. You may need a page that doesn't exist and you don't want to customize any other page. You want to create a new page by clicking on Add New Page. So after the short break, we will click on Add New Page and we'll create a page from scratch, and we will learn how to work on that. So it is 7, almost 40. We'll return at 7:55. Okay, so 7:55, and we will create a brand new page and we will wrap up the lesson. So once we create a new page, we'll talk about privacy policy and we are done with this project. So I'm moving through areas that you may need help to understand, okay? Because I'm aware that you may not be here and you cannot follow at the same time as I'm working. And so I'm just showing you important areas that you will want to know how to do them when you get there. So when you are working on yours, you know how to handle them. All right, so I'm going to see you shortly. Let's take a few minutes break. Okay, so welcome back. I hope we are all back from the break. I'm going to be sharing a WhatsApp group in the chat, and this is our support group for the Webmaster class, and will also be used for our cloud support for the next course after this, our last course for the root phase. So I'm going to share a link, and you click on it to join the support group, where you get to share with your colleagues and get help with your projects. If you are facing any issues, you work with a group and then you get help and fix everything that you need to fix. All right, so I'm going to put a link in the chat and you can join it and you can be part of it. So are we back from break? Let me know in the chat if we are back. Are we back from? All right. All right. So welcome back from the short break. We are almost through with our project. this particular project. So I am going to take us through how to create a brand new page from scratch. And once we create a brand new page, we will see how to put content on it. And this particular page we are going to create, we are going to model it after some of the existing pages so that we see how they were able to create what they have. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go back to the backend in the dashboard. I'm going to click on all pages, and then I'm going to click on create a new page. So let's just assume that we are creating a page for, let's say we are creating a page for, let's say we are creating a page for, let me see. We are creating a page for, let's say dedicated hosting. Okay. So for dedicated hosting, we will come here and then we'll type it in the title here, dedicated hosting. Now, once you type this, over here at the right section here, you can look for where to change the parent. So I can see parent from here. Now, this dedicated web hosting, I want it to have a parent of web hosting. All right, so this means that what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a page for web hosting. Then I create a page for dedicated hosting. Then I'll make this dedicated hosting a child of the web hosting. Then the web hosting a child of services. That's what I think I'm going to do. So this first one, instead of dedicated hosting, let me make this web hosting. All right, so web hosting, and this web hosting is going to be a child of services. So we'll have a parent here called services. So this web hosting is going to be under that. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and publish. Okay. I'll just publish. You click twice. Once I publish and we come back to the pages, we are going to see that we have the page called web hosting somewhere at the bottom. And you can see that it has this thing over here indicating it's a child. So what I'm going to do right now is to click on, let me just click on edit over here. And once it opens, okay, let me do this rather. So I'm going to click on view for us to see how a blank page will look like. So this web hosting page we have created, this is how it looks like. The only thing I'm seeing here are the menus. I'm not seeing even the headers. I have the top bar. I'm not even seeing the logo. This is how what you get when you click on create a brand new page without putting anything on it. So now I'll go to edit. And of course, we will edit it with Tattoo. But before we edit with Tattoo, I'll come down here and show you the page properties here. I'm going to click on this to enable page title override and also enable page title. By clicking on this, by clicking on this, by clicking on this, once I save it, and I come back here and I refresh. Still, I don't have content, but see what happened. All right, so I'm seeing that my banner is showing, my page title is showing, the breadcrumb is showing, but it is interfering with the heading, okay, the top bar. So what I'm going to do is to check the settings from here. To make it easier, I'm going to look at the settings from some of the existing pages and see how their settings look like. I'll click on pages and I will click on any of the services and go to edit, this time edit. Once you go to edit, you are in the WordPress editor itself. I can see that they also highlighted these two, selected these two. At the bottom here, the style header, they chose solid. So that is what I am missing. The style header should be solid. So I have to select solid. I'm going to save it. And after saving, I'm going to come here and reload and see if it solves it. So now you can see that just by doing those simple things, you can have the page created for you. So the header is created, the banner area is created, the footer is also created. The only thing left is the body. So how am I going to create a body? I'm going to get ideas from how they created the others, okay? So just like this one here, edit with tattoo, I'm just going to get ideas from here, how they created it. So let me show you how they created it. They started with a main section, a main section. This main section, when I click on the eye here to view it, you realize that they have just one section. Even the whole site is made up, the whole body is made up of one section, just one section. That's what I'm seeing here, one. When I collapse this, I can see that still it has just one main row. Okay, one row. So there's one giant row that they created for everything. All right. So we create a section, we create a row. So that's what I'm going to do now. Over here, the web hosting, I'm going to now edit with tattoo. I'll click here. This is a page we are creating. And all right, I'm not going to do this yet until I create the dedicated hosting page. All right, so that I will show you how to set a grandparent. So over here, you can see how we have home, services, web hosting. With this one here, we are going to go back and we are going to go to pages and create a new page. This new page, we are going to make this dedicated hosting. And we will just set the parent here. So who can tell me the parent of dedicated hosting? Who can tell me what the parent is? What's the parent of dedicated hosting? Once we come here, we'll see our existing pages. So what do you think is the parent of dedicated hosting? All right, so Caleb says web hosting. So when we look through this, we will see that we created a page called web hosting. That web hosting, we will just make it a parent. Knowing that the web hosting itself is a child of another page. But still, if you're a child, you can also be a parent. Some of you are parents, but you're also children. All right, so let's publish it. And once we publish this, or even before publishing, let's go down here and work on these settings, because without it, we know how it's going to display. So we click here, This will leave all of them. Over here, we set this to solid, and transparent padding, we set it to no. That's all. Then we go ahead and publish this, publish. So once we publish this web hosting, dedicated hosting, we are going to see the breadcrumb over here, how it is displaying. So you can see that we have dedicated hosting, which is a child of web hosting, which is a child of services, and then home. All right. So what we are going to create now, we will create it under dedicated hosting. So under dedicated hosting, we are going to, under the dedicated hosting, we are going to edit with Tachu. And this is where we will begin our work. So over here, we have a section here, and okay. All right, so we have a section that is there already. There's a row here already, and there's one column. All right. So let me still study how they created this. They have a section, they have a row, then they have two columns. But when I come to row and I view how they created their row, when I come in here, I change here to row and I click on view, or I just click on row. Let me change here to row, click here, change here to row. I can see that they use this layout where the right side has more space and the left side has more space and the right side has little space. This is how they divide the page. So that is what I am going to do. So over here, when I click on this column, I will come to row and I'm going to do the same over here. So I'll select this one here so that it will create that division. So this is how come they have something to the right and something to the left. All right, so at the left side, they have this element here, and I'm wondering how this element is called. When I click on it, I see the name is called single image. So over here, in my left panel here, I will just look for single image. I see it here. If I don't see it, I'll type it. So once I click on single image, I also have a single image. We know that we can click here to change the image. All right. So after this single image, let's go down. They have created some margin space at the bottom. Let me check whether it is margin or padding. When I come here, it is actually a padding of 30 pixels. A padding of 30 pixels. So I'll come here and I'll go to advanced and I'll also create a padding of 30 pixels. Here, you can see that I've also done it. So I have it. That's okay. Next, they have this element here. When I click on it, I'm wondering what it is called. The name is here. It is called a text box. So I will also come down here to add a new element. I click on plus. Then this is where they are. I search for it. Text block. I can see it already. I click on it. So the text block I selected is displaying over here. Why am I getting extra space here? Has it changed the... Okay, so this extra space, I can remove it once I'm done and I see that it's distorting it. All right, so let's move on to the text block. The moment I selected text block, I can see a whole block of text. Okay, now this block of text is a lot, but what over here, I'm just seeing something here. So I'll just create a heading with this text block. The only way I would do it is to come to text and clear everything here and type the HTML code for heading. So what level of heading should we use for this? From what we have seen from the other one, what level of heading should we use for this? Who knows it? What level of heading should we use? So let's see what you type. All right, so I told you are very smart. So H2, H2. So H2, so we go ahead and put our H2 open and close. Then in between the H2, we can just give a nice heading, okay? Yes, so just say best dedicated service, whatever it is. Because of the H2, you can see that um, it is displaying over here. All right, like this. So under this, I can click on the plus. So this is how we add the elements to the page. Just click on the plus. But the whole page is made up of layouts. We have our section, which is the outer container. Within it, we have a row. And then the row, you can add columns. So originally you have just one column, but I created two columns. But the two columns I created, you can see that I made the left side bigger than the right side. Then I'm inside the left. I click inside, I added an image. I added text. I can click on plus and add another text. So over here, I describe my dedicated service. If I have long text, this is where I'm going to put it. You make sure all your text appears here. You have long text, this is where you put it. All right. After our text, let's say we want to have something like this, just to know how they created it. If you inspect this, what you are going to discover, for example, when I click on this, I'm seeing inner column. And the inner column, I click on it, I see inner row. This means that this next section, they created an inner row. So there's something called inner row. That is what I am going to create next. So I come here, when I click on plus, I'm not going to set any of this. I'll choose inner row, or I search for it. Inner row gives you another row that you can decide how to split its column. So for this, I can see they use this type of columns. So the inner row, I'll give it two columns. The left column, I can give it an image. So I select single image. Then the right column, wow, they gave it two elements here, text and list. So for the right, I click here and then I add text and then I give it a heading. So a heading here, let me see the type of heading they use for this one. So I come to text and I can see that this is not H2, this is H5. So for dedicated servers, so you can just give your H5 here and just type something here to create what you want to create. Then under that, I can see the plus here. I click on it, then I'll look for list. So this time I'm going to type list. So once I see list, they give me a list. So by doing this, I'm adding to the page and I'm working on it. So I can save this, come back to dedicated pages here, refresh, and you can see that right now the page is coming to life. See? So the space here is too much. I probably shouldn't have added my 30 pixels padding. So I come here, I can remove it, and this is okay. All right. So after this, if I want to add anything here, I'll look at the bottom here and look for how to insert a plus. Under this inner row, I look at how to insert a plus. Yeah. If I'm not, okay, so that's a plus. The plus should be in the middle. If I'm not seeing it, I can create my plus from here and insert the next thing I want to insert. Let me see what they had next. Let's say FAQ, frequently asked questions. So that is a text block. And I can move this one under this. I can move it. You can move it under. I should be able to move it under here. If it didn't move, I can move the inner row. I can move that inner row above that text so that the text will come here. Then I make it an heading 2. And I say frequently asked questions. All right, let me check what heading they use for the FAQ. And it is heading 2. All right. So after this, I can click under and then add a text block. Then I want to know what they use for the Q&A. For the Q&A, they call it accordion something something. So I'm also going to click here and I'll look for accordion something something, accordion toggles. Then I also have it. So you can see that I can create the page. So with this, you keep on creating the left side of the page. Let me save it and we will check dedicated hosting. And we can see that we have been able to create our accordion and it's working. So whatever you want, you can create. So how about the right side? Let's learn how they did it. Over here, I can see that they have an inner row and the inner row ends here. Under that, they have another inner row. So they have 2 inner rows separated. So I will click here under this column, insert first inner row, then under the inner row, let me click inside column. Under the inner row, sorry, I didn't mean to insert this. So they have 2 inner rows. Let me delete it first. Let me delete this first. So here, this is one column. This is one column. Then I'm going to right click. Let me right click and say add row. No, it's not what I want. I want it right under here. So let me click on this inner row and I can just look for the plus, but I can click here and let me put what they have there first. They have a text. The text is H5, request a free code. So I can also add a text block and go to the code and say H5, request a free code, request a free code. All right. H5 should close. Then after that, let's create another one under which we will insert WP forms. So here I'll search for WP forms. Whatever you want, you search and it appears under WP forms. You can choose a form you want by clicking from here. I'll use the request a free code form. If you don't like it, you can use the one we created. That is just a form. At the bottom of the form, I'm going to insert, let me see the inner row. So this is within the inner row. So after submit, I'm still looking for the inner row. So I can check here again. I know they have an inner row up here. After that, okay, there's a divider first before the inner row. So after this, we need to have a divider here. I have the divider here. The divider has properties. It has a width of 100% and a height margin of 30. So height margin of 30 pixels. Is that it? No, no, no. I don't think I got it right. The divider. Okay, so it has height margin of 30 at the bottom. And that's what we've done. And what again? And the style thickness is 0. Thickness is 0. All right. So under that, we have another inner row. Okay, I'm not getting it. That means we are still within the inner row. So that divider should be outside, not inside. It should be outside. If this is not working, I can delete this divider and delete this WP forms. Delete this. Then over here, let me add the divider first. Then the divider will have its height, 30 pixels. There may be other properties to set. Under the divider, I add the inner row, still not visible. Okay, it's visible over here. So I have the inner row here. And on top of the divider, let's add another inner row. All right, so we have two inner rows here. This one. Which one is this? Okay. So the first inner row, the divider is in there. Let me actually delete them and make them look okay. So over here, we can add a text and request a free quote, which we did before. H5. Request a free quote. Then under request a free quote, we can click on the plus, the blue one, and we can add this thing. How do they call it? Multi-purpose card. We can look for multi-purpose card and it appears here. We can click on this, change the icon, whatever we want to do, and it works. Then after that, they have the form. The form should have also gone on top. The form is called request a code, request a free code, yes. So this multiple card should have come somewhere else. All right, so over here, let's click on plus, and then we'll use WP forms. The WP forms, we load the forms we want to show. Then the next section, the next row has contact details. You can just leave the heading blank and just provide the contact details. So you provide multi-purpose layer. Then you click on the icon. Then you change it to something that is meaningful, like the location. Then you put in colors and the number. So let's say this one. Instead of John Doe, I'll say call us. Then your number. All right. All right. So with what we have done, this is what you continue doing till your page is okay. Let me save it and we will see it. So we have created the left and the right sections, and we can continue to put the details over here. So this is how you go ahead and you work on a new page. So we created this page from scratch. So any page you are creating, you can create it from scratch. If it has long text, you can use long text. You can modify the page design in a way that looks better. Now, this one is good to have this on the right and the main body on the left. So for website, you can handle this like this. All right, so now we have created a new page and you should have an idea how to do this when you are working on yours. So let me see. Lastly, I'll talk about a privacy policy and then we will be wrapping up. So I'll look at a privacy policy and a privacy policy, they already have it. So I will go to pages and I'm going to see privacy policy. Let me preview. This one we are not seeing view, we are seeing preview. Okay, so why are we getting preview of privacy policy? Who can tell me why we are getting preview and not view, and why the top is looking like this? All right, so look at this very well and tell me why you think it shouldn't be preview and why we have preview. Just tell me why. Look at it carefully. So I want to know who will detect it and tell me in the chat. So for the privacy policy, what do you think is wrong? Why are we getting preview instead of view? Every other page should give you view, but this one is giving you preview. So look at it carefully and tell me why. So let me see who can get it. Okay, so why do you think we are getting that? What do you think? Anybody? Why is the privacy policy giving us preview instead of view? Just think about it. All right, so Prosper says should not be changed by anyone. Okay. Any other? So you can see the privacy policy they have written. You can go through it. If you like it, you can use it. If you don't like it, you can edit it. You can describe your business to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to write a privacy policy for you that you use here. But I want us to use this one and we will link it down here. So the reason why we are seeing this is because it is draft. Why is it draft? Who can tell me why it is draft or what the draft means? What does it mean when you see draft? That's why I ask you to look at it carefully. What does a draft mean? What is the meaning of the draft? Okay, so by being draft, someone says that the draft means the page has not been published. All right, fine. So we can publish it. All right. So we have to publish it. So what we will do, since this is a lot of text, I'm going to check if they use a WordPress editor for the text. So I'll just click on edit and I'll see if the WordPress editor was used. So here you can see that the text is right here. So the text is not in Tachu. For privacy policy, the text is in the WordPress editor. So you can see right here. I'm also noticing that the privacy policy is not displaying the heading. To fix this, we've already talked about it. Over here, you scroll down, you select 1, 2, and when it comes to style, header style, you choose solid. Let's just publish and see if that works. When you click publish, you click it again. So this time, when you check the status, you realize that it is no longer for viewing sake, it has been published. It's no longer a draft, has been published. So now that it's published, it looks like a real page. When you go to pages again, you are going to see that privacy policy is now having edit, quick edit, view. It's no longer a draft. So this is fine. You can edit the text if you want. And when you are done, you copy this, bring it to your menus, appearance and menus, and select the right footer, the footer quick links. That's what we use, footer quick links. And over there, under quick links for footer, under terms and policies, sorry, privacy policy, you create it. Then I save. So once I save this, I can refresh. And you can see that once you click on this, it is working. All right, so what I have taken you through are the areas in this project that you will need to see how it is done. And that's exactly what I have done. So what you have to do next is to complete for all your pages to make your website complete. So check all your pages, and once you are done, we are going to upload it online. So I want us to be ready, and we will go through the migration process and put it online. I want us to be ready. We go through the migration process and we put it online. So I am done with everything I will do about this project. The rest you have to figure out yourself and fix it because we have already showed you how. So this is where you need to find time, hopefully the coming weekend, and complete your project. Complete your project. So after this particular project, we are going to tell you next steps by tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll let you know the next steps. So you complete this, and for the web masterclass, we will definitely look at e-commerce before we move on to the next course. So focus and complete your project. We've said it thousands of times that this is a requirement. Please make sure you do it. It is part of the process. So as you are here to receive training, this is all part of the process. So you make sure you go through it. And right after this, we will have a root phase cloud training for everybody. And after that cloud for everybody, we'll go through certification and examination. And after that, we will move on to our specialization. So please make sure you fulfill the requirements for the root phase to be able to get certified, because the root phase ends with an examination and certification. So if you have not met all the requirements, you may have issues at the end. So we've said it over and over and over and over and over and over. So please, let's go through it, okay? As we are learning, we are going to be building projects throughout. So this is just one of our first real project, okay? So this is where you show your determination, you show your um, you make time and you get things done, okay? So let's go through it. And we've given you a link in the chat. So that is a support group for this particular project. And we'll be using that for um, the cloud um, examination preparation and the cloud studies. So once you join that group and you are having issues, you will share and get help from everybody. So everyone there is seriously working on their projects, and you will see how they are all helping each other. So it's the same project we are talking about here. So make sure you are working on yours. So now the time has come for you to work on your project. And what is going to happen? Um, yes, so that is it. So let's finish our project, move on to the next step. Whatever assignments we have, whatever projects we have, we make sure we do them. Okay. Yes. So let's get that done, and everything is gonna be perfect. Okay. Yes, and you can see all those who have done their works can see how wonderful it is. All right. I don't have enough words to tell you again. Please make sure you do your assignments and your projects. Very, very important. So let's do that. And Lois will be contacting you, and we will show you how to publish the videos. So please watch out. So let's quickly look at pricing model. I'll try and see if time will permit that us to work on that again. But we want to just assume that you found a client and you want to charge them for work. You want to work for them, and they are asking you questions for you to work for them. First of all, I'm going to start from how usually these things happen. So once you meet someone, the person will tell you the idea they have in mind, and they'll tell you that they want you to create a website for them. The company doesn't exist yet, or the website doesn't exist yet. So they will tell you what they do. And the moment they tell you that, you should get an idea of the kind of website you want to create for them. You get an idea of the kind of website you want to create for them. Most of the time, the person can show you a sample of another website. And if it helps you, you can let them show you a sample of any website that is similar to that. If that is not workable, you can let them describe how the website is, what they want on their website. Now, for most of the time, it is a website for their business. Okay. So a website for a typical company has somewhere around 5 pages. Okay. So you will have, let me share my screen. I don't know if I'm sharing. A website for a business will have somewhere between 5 pages. So we have the home, we have about us as a single page, we have services as a single page. Then we can have something like projects, and then we have contact us. For simple company website, these are some of the pages they will have. Some people may not have projects that they have to show. Sometimes we have portfolio to show some of the works we've done, or we have um, um, photo gallery, a gallery, a gallery to show certain things we have, or anything. So most websites, most company websites are just simple and straightforward, and they have 5 pages. So this is a company website. All right, so this is their corporate website. Now, in terms of pricing, let us begin by how you go about the whole process. And this is just a simple overview. Later on, we will um, have a more detailed one. And if there is a particular situation or case that we can use for this example, it can also help. Now, once you get an order, first of all, you need to have what we call a project brief. Now, the project brief is a document that establishes the scope of the project. Okay, so it allows you to know the objective of the project and the requirements of the project. Now, something like this helps you to, both of you, to have a document that reflects exactly what we want to do. Okay, so whatever we want to do should be captured here in the project brief. I'm happy last week in the industry session, we did something similar to that. So just like for logo designing, we can have the same approach to your website. So this particular project brief will be a document that after understanding your client, you make sure that that understanding is captured in the project brief. So the project brief, you can have a template of a project brief. You can download several web design project brief. Let me see if we can find something now. So web design project brief template. So let's see if we can find something nice. And this project brief, okay. But what I try searching for is a document that has a typical document. So not what they are showing me to read about it. So let me say docs so that we can see a typical document. So something has been downloaded. Web design project brief. Let me check it quickly, then I'll open it. All right. So over here, it says project title, client name, contact info, mailing address, project overview. Purpose, what would you like? Why would you like a new website? Objective, what impact? All right. Target audience, brand target, desired reaction, competitive analysis, design functionality. Okay, so provide links, explanation of design elements of websites you like. Okay, so, all right. Now, Current website review, list of prospective aspects of current site, list of negative aspects of current site, current traffic levels, site architecture. Okay, so this is a very long document. Long document. We need something straightforward and simple that is just 1 or 2 pages that will capture the summary. All right, but the purpose of this project brief is to have a document that displays the scope of the website, the objective, the requirements, and what the deliverables should be, the target audience, the key features, and all that, just to capture the whole idea of what we want. So on that particular project brief, in the end, after everything you have discussed with the person, the exact deliverables will be in the project brief and will be confirmed. Once the project brief is confirmed, then number 2, you have what we call a contract. Okay, so a contract or an agreement. So the agreement will have a general agreement. So you find a good template that has an agreement of a website designing contract. Then within the agreement, what has been agreed in the project brief will be reiterated and formalized in the contract. Okay, so the terms, the scope of work, the payment terms, how the payment will be done, everything will be captured in the contract. So in terms of payment, sometimes we do 50% initial payment before the project begins. When the project is, let's say, 70%, a 20% payment or 25% payment can be made. Then at the end of the project, the final one will also be made. Sometimes it's 50 to start and then 50 at the end. Whichever one works for you, you can go ahead and do that. But most of the time, we don't take 100% unless your client wants to pay 100%. Part payment is made before the end. All right. So payment terms and payment dates, everything should be captured together with the start date of the project, the end date of the project. Everything should be captured in your contract to make it more formal. All right. So once you research some of them, you'll find. If I get time, I can create a sample, or once we do it for one person, we can have a solid sample that everyone else can also use. So after the amount of the project, everything has been created, then you move on to the third part, which is the invoice. So the invoice is actually the document listing the actual breakdown of the cost and what they are paying for and the total amount. So once the invoice is submitted, then they pay for the invoice. So when we talk about the invoice, question is what should be on the invoice? What should be on the invoice? So your invoice will capture the breakdown of what they are paying for. So they will pay for domain registration. Okay, domain registration. They will pay it yearly. They need to understand that it's yearly. So you are going to charge for domain registration. Now, domain registration, you should know how much it costs you to charge your domain to register a domain. So to register a domain, if it costs you $10 or $11, consider the renewal price. So check. You realize that renewal price is more than the first year price. You don't charge your domains with the first year price. So renewal price is somewhere around $16 to $18. Somewhere $16. So you confirm the renewal price. So domain.com, last time, who remembers how much we paid for renewal? Who remembers it? I want to see if anybody remembers how much we paid for renewal. All right. So I don't know if anybody remembers. So the renewal price, let's assume it is $16 or $17. So you use that and then you add your profit to it to charge for the domain. So for the domain, don't make it too high. So you can add $5 to $10 profit on the domain because there's a lot of profit to be made in the hosting and the web design. So you will charge for your domain based on renewal price. Based on renewal price, I'm still waiting if anybody remembers the renewal price we paid for it. Now you are going to pay in dollar, so you can price in dollar and tell your clients in your local currency, or if it is depending on the type of client, you can also give a price in dollar. But if you are dealing with your local environment, you charge in your local currency. All right. So your domains, let's say you are charging $20 to $25 for your domains. Then you also charge for hosting. And you let the client know that the domain and hosting, they are yearly payments. Some clients, they will think that once they paid for your work, it's forever. That's what they think. You need to let them understand that these ones are yearly. Now, their hosting. Look at how much it costs to get hosting for 1 year. You can choose a platform like Bluehost to know how much it costs. So let's say you are now starting. You can look at Bluehost, how much it costs to host for 1 year, and how much it costs to host for 1 year. Then you will add profit to that. Okay. Now, all of these things, you can decide to have a fixed price or you can charge based on your client. If it is a big company, the pricing may be different. If it is just a friend or someone close to you, can also look at the price so that you don't charge too high. All right. So for hosting, I'm just assuming we are dealing with shared hosting right now. So you look at how much you will spend for a year. Look at the year costs on Bluehost because what you will see will be 1 month's cost. So calculate for 1 year and see how you will get it. But how you will deliver the hosting, like we discussed during the web hosting class, you need to buy the first hosting for yourself and you host your client on add-on. So how much you are charging for the hosting, it is still going to be your profit. Later, if you have a reseller account, you are paying for your reseller service and you are also you are charging based on how much you run your business. So let's assume 1 year hosting price on Bluehost. Let's assume it is $55. $55. So for hosting, you can charge between $80 to $100, and it's every year. Then when it comes to the web design, the website design, this is what you do. You can say that 5-page website, 5 pages is $300. That's your initial cost. So you convert this to your local currency. Depending on the client, you can charge, if you want to set a fixed price, fine. Usually, the moment you say a 5-page corporate website, you are quite specific. So as a company, you can have a specific price for that. But then if it's a big client, you can set a higher price. And if it is someone that you want to give a low cost to, you can also reduce the price. So over here, let's say we have a range like this. So let's say $300 to either $500 or $600. or even $700 for a 5-page website. All right. Then you have additional pages. For every additional pages, you charge $50. In this case, if the client tells you that, okay, under About Us, I want to have our About Us page, I want to have our Teams page, I want to have our history page, I want to have so and so pages, I want to have a number of pages. Your clients understand that the initial cost for the standard 5-page website is $300. Then any additional page is this. So as they are requesting for more pages, they are going to pay for it. Now, if this is not done, your client will bombard you with ideas and they will just tell you do them. All right. So once you set this, it makes it straightforward. Now, everything we are talking about here is under the umbrella of corporate websites. So these are websites for companies. So after this, you also talk about SSL security. SSL security. And for SSL, you can give them a cost. Can give them a cost. Can give them a cost of $30 to $50. Okay. And this is just because for you right now, it's not going to cost you money. You are just going to set it up and ensure that the security is on the website. But if you are purchasing a different type of SSL, the SSL, they are quite expensive. You need to find out how much the particular SSL they want cost. But all these are the general ones. Once you say SSL, you can get this for free on Cloudflare. So let them pay for it so that they are conscious that they are paying for security and you are also configuring security on their website. So you charge for the security. All right. Then you can also add maintenance and support. Now, the maintenance and support, you can also let them know that you have a yearly cost. All right. So yearly cost of, let's say, $100 to $150. All right. So at the end, you have your total for what they should pay for. If they don't want maintenance now, it can be removed and they can pay as and when they need your assistance or as and when any work is done on the work. But it is good to have this so that they know that they can rely on you to make sure the website is maintained and it is taken care of so that they are conscious that their website is being taken care of. All right. Now, by taking care of it, it doesn't mean that every day they have to send you something to change. Every day they have to send you something to change. In the contract, your maintenance work will be stated as well. So for this particular kind of maintenance support, in your contract, you can state that there's going to be one monthly update or upgrade. Okay. What this means is that by the end of every month, you make sure that there is an update on the website so that the website doesn't look the same throughout the whole year. Because when someone comes to the website today and they come to the website after 6 months, if they see the same text, same content, same image, everything is some way. So at least you change something, either the sliders, you change, update something. Yeah, so you state the scope of maintenance. Also, you let them understand that plugin updates, security updates, backup, they are all part of this. So once this is done, you make sure that those ones are done. But then when it comes to frequency of updates, you also have it in the contract to state additional cost for frequency of update in case, let's say, that particular client needs something changed every week or every day. That one is a different thing altogether. But the general maintenance, you have it defined that every month something will be changed. The same time, security is done, backup update is done, plugin updates, and all those things are checked because all these things, once you don't check them, they expire and sometimes they affect the website in other ways. And then you also let them know what and what you will change. And once these things are clearly explained, your client will go for it. All right. So in the end, you have a total based on what you agree on, and then you charge. So maybe you make something $500, $550, $600, $700, you're done. Now, this is a good model that once you establish, you make sure your brief, you understand how you do your briefing, it looks professional. You understand how your contract is, it looks professional. Your invoicing, it looks professional. And this can be standardized. Once this is standardized, what you do is that every month you give yourself a target to find, let's say, 5 clients a month. So if, let's say, per client you are earning $700, and this is just because you are now entering the market, $700 is simple. But then this is a type of business model that every company can, or every startup or every small business can have a website with you. Okay, so there are a lot of small businesses. Small businesses are the majority on the market. So you make sure that, let's say, every month you have a system in place to target 5. You can target these 5 through social media advertisement, through different means. And if you know that you are getting $700 times 5, that should give you about how much? Who has calculated it? 3,500. All right, so that 3,500, once you are certain that you are getting it, you can take a percentage of your $3,000 or whatever you are getting a month, and you can invest that percentage into advertisement. Okay. Now you see that this model is structured and is simple and is something that can be repeated over and over and over and over. Now, once you have a percentage of your income into advertisement, what will happen is that you are always reaching markets and you are always getting business. And even if you are not advertising and you yourself, you say that you are giving yourself 5 clients a month, you are working on it, it's possible to get. Maybe first month you may not reach, but by the third, fourth month, if you are serious, you should reach it. Then you have a system in place to keep on pushing your advertisement. Once this is going on, you realize that you are getting clients every month and they are increasing. So a time will come through your advertisement um, strategy, you realize that you are increasing in the amount of clients you are getting monthly. All right. The time will come, you get up to 10 clients a month. But then always have a budget to keep pushing, keep pushing. Now, a time will come, the clients that you have gotten already, they will reach a number. Let's say 30, 40, 50, 100. They'll reach a number. Now, by the time they grow up to that number, you realize that every day it's time for someone to pay for renewal. When it's time for renewal, they will pay you 1, 2, and 3. So each client will be paying this, and your percentage is on all of them. So these ones, they are passive incomes that will come. So from your existing client, you have passive income. From new clients, you are getting new deals and building business for each one of them. And once you are serious, this can pay you, okay? If you get $3,000 a month, you know how much it is? Sometimes it will be difficult to even get a good job at this time to pay you $3,000. But you have what it takes to make $3,000. You see, you are just not being entrepreneurial. You are just not thinking to do business. All right. But if you are serious, you get it. All right. You may start. But if you are serious, I can tell you that at the very least, you'll have one client a month at the very least. If you are serious, at the very least. And they will be increasing. And if you keep on working hard, and as you keep growing, you start getting help team to help you with things to make sure everything goes through well. And this is something that you can automate. You don't even have to be part of it. Once you build it and it's running, it's working, a time will come, there can be an automated business that you are not part of it, but the system is running and you are making your profit and you are free and you are there. Now, talking is easy. I take dedication to get there, okay? And it takes a lot of focus to get there. All right. So everything I have said just now, very, very possible. Very, very possible. All right. So now, what if the client wants to have, let's say, an e-commerce website? An e-commerce website, this is a part that will change. Okay. For e-commerce website, so with this one, your client will not, it's not a corporate site, it's an e-commerce site. For e-commerce website, the price for e-commerce websites, you will charge between $500 to $1,500. And all of these are for simple small businesses. Now, if someone comes to you with a big idea for a bigger platform, you can think about it and then you choose what to how to charge. So I'm trying to quickly take you through this because someone in your classes, she has gotten a client and she's wondering how to go about it. Okay. So I don't know if this is helpful. If this is helpful, or if you have specific questions. So I don't know if you have specific questions or this is helpful enough, you can let me know. But if you have specific questions, okay, so would you like to speak? Okay, let me allow you to speak. So let me allow you to speak so that, all right, so please go ahead and let us know what you like to know.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, class.
Yes.
So, my specific question is with the sample website that I have, the
Okay.
client has some products that they want to showcase on the website. He hasn't specified if they will be making purchases, but from the sample website that he sent, there is no purchase that is being made on that website. It's just like it's just showcasing the products and the ingredients that is in the products is pharmaceutical industry. So my other question is that I don't know if I can share my screen for you to see through the site.
Yes. Please do
Products
that.
will,
You can share
let
your
me
screen.
see. Okay. So this is the product, and I checked this website. It's not being built by WordPress or with WordPress. I don't know. It looks like from the source code, it looks like they use like HTML, CSS, jQuery, JavaScript. That's what I
Okay.
see. So I don't know
All
if
right.
I can achieve something similar with WordPress themes, and if the
Okay.
client would need to upload products that I probably may not be a part of. Is there a way that they can do it by, if I use
Okay.
WordPress, can I give them access to the admin session? That's one of the
All
major
right.
questions that I have.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, when
Yeah.
it comes to e-commerce, I will actually recommend you to use WordPress instead of building from scratch because it takes a lot of work. This particular work will cost more. You see, any product, any project that you have to build from scratch costs more. Okay, it costs a lot more. So the pricing I have given you, I'm not thinking of you writing code from scratch. Okay, I'm thinking of
Okay.
you working with WordPress. Okay, because when you have to build it from scratch, it becomes like an app development. And that one, the client needs to specifically state exactly what they want. Like this one, they show you a sample. You review the
Yeah.
sample and then you charge based on the what the client is looking for. And most of these charges, sometimes we use hourly rates to charge because of the amount of work that goes into it. In the end, it will be more when you build it from scratch. So my answer to the first question is it is easier and better to use WordPress for this kind of
Okay.
website. Now, apart from WordPress, what was your next question?
So I was asking, the clients will always like have
Okay,
new
good. All
products
right,
or want to
exactly.
update products.
So once
How will
you
yeah.
use WordPress to build e-commerce,
Mhm.
there is a plugin we call WooCommerce. WooCommerce controls all products, all orders, all shipping information, all commerce information. And with that, products can be uploaded through the backend. Okay. Now, anytime you have a WordPress account, there is a place where you create users. So let me share my screen and show you that.
Okay, let me start.
All right. So let's say this WordPress that we have over here, we have a place where we see users. I don't know if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can see.
Good. You go to users. Okay. Now, if you want to give your client access, this is where you do it. Come here and give users. And this, first of all, this should be out of the communication as much as possible, unless the frequency of content management is more than what your time will permit. Okay? Because once you give them this, you are giving them ability to do things without you. And
Okay.
what I am trying to say right now is that as a business, you should try and do work for your clients so that they pay for it rather than them doing
Okay.
it yourself. So giving access to your users depends on that particular situation. For example, this particular client wants to be able to upload their own product every time. That is
Yeah.
understandable. You don't have to be there every day for them to upload and make changes to prices and those things. In that case, when it comes to your invoice, there will be one thing included in your invoice called training. Now, training here talks about you, after the product is delivered, you take a selected number of people, and based on the selected number of people, the training cost will be determined how to manage the content of the website, where to change what, where to add product, where to view orders, where to view their history and everything. All right. Now, if you have WooCommerce, WooCommerce will bring all those features into your WordPress about orders, shipping, all those things. They will be part of what we are seeing here. Now, let's forget about that a sec. Now, over here, let's say you are creating a client for your customer, and this customer, let's say, let's call this customer Josephine. So you can just say Josephine. You can just create Josephine here in lowercase. Then you can put Josephine's email address here. So Josephine, Josephine dot whatever at gmail.com. Then first name, you type their full name. Okay, so Josephine. Well, you type their full name for your customer. Then you can, this is optional, you can put it there or not. Then you give password to the user. Okay. Now the important thing I want to show you, the reason why I'm here is this role. Never give admin role here.
Okay.
And editor should be given carefully because editor has more privileges to edit pages and posts and other things. Okay. As for admin, admin has full access. Admin has full access. Editor has a lot of access. So what you want to do is to work through contributor and author. So what I would advise you right now is to choose an author, and then you log in to the author account and check what they can do. Contributor, check what they can do. When it comes to things like, for example, if it is a blog, they should be able to post articles. So a post, you can allow it. Media, you allow. Pages, you can allow pages for them to create new pages. And what it means is that if it is an author, they can edit the pages they created, but they may not be able to edit other people's pages. Then comments, they can edit comments. What you don't want to allow here, appearance, plugins, settings, tools, these things are administrative features that should not be allowed. Okay. Now, when you install WooCommerce, WooCommerce will add other roles here. So you can choose a specific role for that particular person, and they will be able to manage products alone. So based on what you want to, the level of access you want to give them. But the moment you give full access administrator, they can change everything, including the website design. So you don't go there, you give up to author, and you check and see if author has the features that they need. If not, the least you can give or the maximum you can give is editor. Yes. So if this is created, they can also log in. So you show them how to go to WP admin and log in. But the dashboard features they will see will be different or limited. So the answer to your question is that yes, you can give them that access and they can upload product. You just have to train them and show them how to upload the product and how they will how it will appear on the website. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, it's all up to you. If usually you should charge for training. If you don't want to charge for training, it's up to you. Whatever, it's up to you. But then I'm just giving you the standard pricing model of a corporate website or any website and the kind of things you should look out for. And this is also different from when it comes to an application, a web application, a mobile app. All those things are different from what we are talking about. Even web application is different. Yes, but this over here, I'm talking about a corporate website and e-commerce, corporate website and e-commerce, and for a blog site too, you can also a blog will be lesser than e-commerce. Blog can be lesser than e-commerce, but with a blog too, you have to give them access to be able to post every day. Because for blogs, they update blogs on a daily basis. Yes.
Okay.
So,
and
yes.
Okay, another question I'm going to ask. I don't know if I can share my screen to
Please
ask some
do.
questions.
Share your screen. Share your screen. Share your screen. And please, we apologize for the time. Oh my goodness.
So this has to do with the other services that we have. I don't know if I heard right that this is my website. You guys can see in case of if you.
Oh wow.
It's
That
loading.
is
So
impressive. After all that you went through, you've been able to rebuild. This is called a comeback spirit. You know, when you fall, you rise again. You see? So, Paul,
yeah,
that's your sister. She went through the same problem and she's back up. So, make
yeah.
sure
I don't know why it's loading,
it,
but
it, it will load. And
okay.
you make sure
So
that
this is
you back up, okay? Wow. You see
yes,
that this is
yes,
better.
I have.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. This one is better than the previous one. You see?
Yeah,
When something happens and you go through something and you come back, the comeback is better. This one is better than the previous one. I can tell you that. This is better.
thank, thank you.
Yes.
So
But please
so
listen to
this
me. Listen to me. You
okay.
need to back up your database, back up your website folder. In case it happens
All
again,
right.
then you can restore. All right. Please continue.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. So the web solutions. I don't know if I heard right, but I think the beginning of the project, you said you was going to show us how to list with Ego that also some of the whatever we have that we can add to.
Exactly.
So like I understand some, yes, I understand some of them, and the cloud services, the AI data analysis, that's something that I don't think I can do on my own. So
Yes.
I before we get to the end of the project, I just wanted to see if you can reaffirm us that that will be something
All
that
right.
we can get to do.
All right, please. I reaffirm it. That is exactly what I said. Okay.
Okay.
So with your company, you need to brand yourself well as a tech company, provide all those services, and you will get partnership with the Eagle Tech Africa to be able to do what you cannot do, and you get your you maintain your profit and outsource the work to be done to Eagle Tech Africa so that you maintain your profit and still maintain your client, and the work can still be done in your name, okay, and you can
Okay.
still deliver to your client and grow your business. That is number one.
Oh,
Yes. Number two is that as you continue to serve your client, you keep learning what you don't know so that you don't have to always bring your work to Eagle Tech. You
okay.
understand? Oh my God, I think
Yes,
this
sir.
website is amazing. This is beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
You are doing well.
So the pricing, I was thinking since I've now understood lot more about it. So I was thinking about just removing this pricing section. I don't know
Yes, you
if
can
that's
remove
okay.
it. You can remove it and give pricing for specific services. So, for example, for corporate websites, you can give your pricing structure and you can choose to maintain it over there. Or you can always
Yes,
request for quotes. Once your client requests for quote,
okay.
now that you are starting, once they request for quote, you know how you go about it, but it depends on the client because sometimes it is someone you want to, you know what? So you can just be specific and just state your price, okay? But sometimes you
Okay.
get certain contracts that requires,
Would be out of
you
the yeah,
yes,
quite other things.
yes, you just let's state fixed prices so that everything is straightforward, so that everybody knows
Okay.
how much goes into it. If you need additional
Mhm.
features based on the additional pages and other things, you attract more cost. So once we maintain it like that, we can have a general a focused pricing model to use. So let's go about it that way. But you have really
Okay.
impressed us with your work. You have done very well.
And this I started with the photo already,
What?
not
Wait a minute.
not yet.
Hey, everything about your work is so amazing. Your logo, everything. Look at your photo. Wow.
Thank you, sir. I'm not sure with the
Hmm.
photo though. Yeah, still have some changes to make.
Yeah, you
So
make your changes, all
from
right, but the way it looks, the logo has beautified everything at the footer. The way you have inverted your logo and the orange is running through it is just so beautiful. All right. Are you there? She off? Okay. So thank you all. Sorry for the time. I hope we've learned one or two from it. Yeah, so tomorrow you'll get your client and you'll see that it's helpful. But all of these things, like I've been saying, let's be business minded. Let's 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 be business minded. Let's be entrepreneurial people, and let's build businesses. And if you attach seriousness to it, you realize that you can set up a business that in a few years to come, you can be free from the process and let the business run. Although it's not easy at all, but you can do it. And the business will run, and you will make more profit than you get from your job. Yes, so this is something that you can do. And the way we have structured this thing for you to be able to provide more advanced tech services, work with Eagle Tech Africa, you can still be doing cloud, you can be doing data analytics, you can be providing cybersecurity services. That I'll talk about that later on as well. So there's a whole lot. So let's be serious with our projects. And once I see you making progress, I'll tell you how to also connect cybersecurity services that you can offer to companies to it. I'll show you how you go about that one as well. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Yamfandi, I'm sorry for not getting enough time for you, but I hope this has been helpful. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll meet again tomorrow. So officially, we are done with this project. Take your time and work on it. So by tomorrow, I'll give you information about the next steps. So let's work on our project. This video will be uploaded, and by tomorrow, we'll know what is next. So all the best. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.